can ask like the big why. Why am I here? Why do this, right? Even like we do the body conditioning, and strength is important, right? Strength is important, but if you pay attention to what I said, it is important for the training, so you can do the training. It's important in the fight, that's true. But if you go, well, I'm here to learn how to fight, it's like, really? How many fights have you been in? Zero. What are you expecting, the big match tomorrow? Do you know? And those who got in a fight, when's the last time you got in an actual fight? And what happens? What are you imagining? You're 70, 80? Do you know what I mean? Are you really going to be the champ at 80? Or maybe do you start going, why am I still such an asshole that I keep getting in fights? I'm 80 years old, I haven't fucking figured out how to just get along with people. I mean, these things, what I mean is these things cannot be your reason for being here at this level. You know, I want to learn Aikido. Why? Why? You going to win the Aikido Olympics? You know, there's not one. And here, I think it's even crazier, because maybe you're like, you know, I want to learn Aikido so I can get some rank and I can get some title, and then, you know, I can get people to start, I can charge them for seminars, and I get the seminar circuit going. Yeah, but we don't have that. That's not, you're in the wrong place. We don't have that rank, that title. There's just what we're doing. Well, what are we doing? And what is worth doing? It can't be technical artistry. It can't be. And it can't be martial prowess. It can't be. These are temporary things, worldly things, meaningless things. But reconciling fear, that's a real thing. It's a Budo, so we use the training in martial arts. And here's the part you don't like. We use the training in martial arts to generate fear in you so that you can reconcile fear. You can't work on what you don't put on the workbench. Do you understand? So we use that training. But the goal is not the martial arts training. And so for that reason, it's wherever you're facing fear, that is the training. Not the technique. Or not just the technique. So sometimes it's the ook is coming at you and you're afraid. You're afraid of failure. You're afraid of not getting it. You're afraid of how you're going to look to people. All that is fucked up. Well, that's why we're working on it. All that stuff leads to your suffering and to the generation of your suffering. It just keeps going. You are out of alignment. You're broken. But you don't just break yourself, you start breaking everything. You want to break everything. So that then we watch the fear in the ukemi. Can you take the fall? Do you pull out? Do you decommit? Do you look for control? Do you wish for a choreography? Please let me throw myself. Or can you just reconcile fear and let the natural course the natural course way, do its thing. But sometimes fear's in all kinds of other things. You get a correction from your teacher, and it sends you in a loop. You don't like it. That's a fear. Why should it send you in a loop? Is it not possible just to receive the correction, input the information, without it going into this childhood trauma? I don't feel good. I want you not to feel good. It is possible to receive a correction purely. Just like to receive the day and to receive the sun coming up. Undoubtedly, there's people who dread the sun coming up, but they're called vampires. They suck the blood of other people. They're the undead. They're dead. You know, you watch, for centuries, people in the way have looked at animals and used them as analogies. I mean, I never see my dog go, it's fucking Monday. Whatever it is, every day is Friday to my dog. Do you understand? He doesn't dread the sun coming up or the sun going down. He eats what food's there, and if he doesn't want to eat it, he doesn't eat it. He does not go, fuck, what crap is this shit I'm eating? You fucker, you hate me. He doesn't do it. He just won't eat it. We're working on this technique, work on this technique. Get this correction. Put that correction in. Sometimes fear goes deeper than that, right? Because who cares if you get the technique? We only care about the technique because of how fear ruins the technique. Do you understand that? That's all we care about, the technique. But in that same way, it could be a dojo etiquette. Right? In the dojo etiquette, there's a whole section, and in that section, it has the golden rule. It reminds me of the law enforcement policy or the penal code. You learn to read the code, and it will say like, A is against the law, B is against the law, C is against the law. And then any other letter that you might think of that I didn't write, that's also against this code. It's like a catch-all. Do you get it? Well, the golden rule is a catch-all. It's a catch-all in fear reconciliation in how you interrelate with other people. In other words, you're not the same way that a uke resists, or the nage forces. Do you see? Those are all fear responses. The same way you relate to other people, technically, the technical word is assholery. You're not allowed to be an asshole to anybody in this dojo. Do you understand? You can't curse at them, make faces at them, treat them in any other way than I treat you. You can't do that. You can't do that. You have to serve them. That's the same emptying of self. Some of you, I know, for example, if one of you need help, and some of you would rather be in the class than help them. Do you see this? Like, if helping them conflicts with me doing the class, I'm gonna not help, I'm gonna do the class. Again, what are you gonna be? You gonna win the Aikido Olympics? Is that even what we're working on? Could you do that? Could I say, will you do this? And you just do it? Could I give you a correction and you just do the correction? Could I say, will you help this person? And you just help them? Or do you have to go, well, then I can't do my class? What's your class? Do you get it? What are you really studying? But if I make you miss the class, then you feel robbed, you see? But where's the true teaching? Where's the true teacher? Where's the true deshi? Is it really in the class? It's not in the class. Who gives a fuck about the techniques? It's this fear reconciliation. It is this forfeiting, this capacity to forfeit the self. Can you do it? Or is it always threatening to you? Okay. Sometimes you can do it. But I won't do it for you. I'll do it for you, but I won't do it for you. You outrank me, so I'll do it for you. What the fuck? Where are you? What world are you in? I won't do it for you because you're my husband, and you're not supposed to do this to me. You're not supposed to scare me. It is training in the place where you're supposed to reconcile fear. One, I think he is supposed to scare you here. And two, I think the question is the same question we've always asked. Hey, why don't you reconcile your fear? Why don't you work on that? But at the same time, if you feel there's no way she's going to reconcile fear. Not here, this technique is terrifying to her. Don't go, too bad, bitch. You're in the wrong place. Time to get fucked up. No, you know what you do? You go, this is not the partner where I work on these things. Do you get that? Because you can feel the stirring up of emotions. Do you see? You should be able to feel it. If you reconciled your fear, you can tell when it's stirring up. He's going to pull the wife card on you. So, we'll work on this. It's no different than when Taylor's working out with the newest deshi we have right now. He's not slamming you. Is he slamming you? He's not slamming you. It was so gentle. It was like, here's a pillow. Tuck you in. And a binky. Do you see? But he's yielding. Do you see? He's doing the yield. He's doing the yin yield, do you see? The yin yield into the spiraling geometry. You see? This is an important geometry. If you watch the old films of Bo Sensei, that's all he did. This particular one. Okay? But if you watch our films where we're doing anything goes and the guy's punching and kicking, you're going to watch me do that same yin yield into the spiraling geometry. Do you see that? Because the next thing the guy tries to do is turn really sharp into where I'm at. And that takes him into the throws. You see that? So you just work on this, do you see? If you watched on the video, again, I have to teach the reconciliation of fear to Leah because she's in the dojo, you see? So I have to bring fear to the technique. The fear we're using here is, you're not in control, you see? It's a great fear. It's a primal fear. I'm not in control. The fear of falling is another primal fear. Okay? So I combine the two. You're coming forward, do you see? And you no matter what you want, you are going to load yourself on my hip. Even though you don't want to load. I don't want to. Why am I on your hip? Do you see that? Right? It's like, again, going back to the vampire. It's like the woman that invites the vampire into the house or in the audience. You're like, why'd you invite the vampire into the house? He can only go in if you invite him. So I don't want to go on the hip. Fuck, I'm on the hip. Do you see? That's enough to generate the fear that now lets her practice on acceptance, release of ego. But you've seen me lift, and you've seen me throw Ronan and Taylor, and this is not, was I chucking her? No. It was a very, very gentle throw, do you see? So I'm not going, hey, you're my deshi, fuck off. Do you get it? This is the place to work on fear, right? It's enough. Do what you can. Got it? But in this way, it's very Confucian, because you do what you can and you do what you can. You don't say you don't do that because I can't. That's very woke, which is the opposite of Confucian. Budo has a Confucian element to it, you see? So you do and you do. Okay? But remember here, obviously to me fighting is important. I have a job. I better know how to fight, right? But it's not what's motivating me. It can't motivate me. Because even when I do the job, what's the whole point of the patrol strategy? Not to get in a fight. Do you see that? There's no way it's going to motivate me here. And there's no way technical artistry is going to motivate me. Right? It's not going to happen. Our videos would be better produced. We would do seminars instead of saying we don't do seminars. If you want to come here, you can come here. And I wouldn't say such awful things. You can't say things people want to hear. This is very abrasive. Very abrasive. This is very abrasive, right? Not a very friendly talk. But it's true. It's authentic. But remember why we're here. We're not here for these worldly things. Fighting and technical mastery. That stuff's crap. Okay? But reconciling fear, that's gold. Okay? That's gold. And remember the dojo rule, value what should be valued. And do not value what should not be valued. Okay? Okay?
Okay.